So the thing is, somebody brought up a theory, and they said that humanity at the moment is experiencing something like a zoochosis, she called it. And it's written like the zoo, which is Z-O-O, and then chosis, zoochosis, as if you were living in a zoo. So this person said, humanity is like cattle. They are basically they're held here like cattle, which is why they experience zoochosis. And what happens to animals when they are in the zoo is that they start repetitive behaviors like over-grooming. And I want to compare that to the people going to the gym a lot, like as if their life depended on it. So that's the kind of over-grooming that humans would do. And also all of that excessive work. Like, for example, why do you go work your ass off if you have no quality of life then, and stuff like that. So people try to forget all their worries by being a workaholic, basically. So the animals would start pacing up and down, and that is how humans do it. Humans just become workaholics, or they become addicted to other kind of things, not workaholics, but addicted to other kind of drugs such as alcohol or whatever. And she said that basically this theory that humans are behaving like that right now, that they're becoming a little bit cray-cray because they have been held in the zoo for too long. I find this absolutely accurate, because we are nothing but cattle to the rich, right? We are nothing but cattle. We are the ones who pay for their fine lifestyle, and that's it then. And then they hope for us, after we have worked all of our lives, to basically drop dead with a heart attack at work. So that is what they hope for, so that they don't have to, pay us retirement or something. I find this absolutely right. She's right with that theory. We are treated like cattle, and most people don't even know that they are cattle. Most people are oblivious to this. They think that they are free. They are slaves, but they think that they are free. And that's still amazing to me that people have such a hard time seeing this. On the other hand, I was the same in the past. I didn't see it either. So that's because when we grow up, we are under a deep, deep hypnosis. We are getting brainwashed. We are getting filled with all kinds of information which is false, basically disinformed. We're disinformed from birth. And all of that is very hard to break out of. So you have to have a certain age and a certain set of experiences to even have the possibility to break out of that and to see the truth, to see the reality. I mean, I could say I was lucky, but I could also say I was unlucky to have the ability to see through the system, see through the programs that they're feeding you with, see through the hypnosis that society is under. And the reason why I saw it is because I worked in 3 fields. I worked in pharmacy, I worked in politics, and I worked in media. And in all 3, I could see the same patterns. I could see how humanity is basically brainwashed and always kept under hypnosis, always being lied to, and always kept in a certain frequency field where they cannot even realize they're cattle. They cannot even realize that they're being... Oh, there is a spider crawling on me. I don't like this. They basically don't realize that they are being used, that that their energy is being siphoned. And there are so many programs. I mean, we could talk about it for days and days. So one of the programs they put us women under is they give us all of these Disney movies. When I grew up in the 80s and 90s with the Disney movies, they always mixed a villain with a good guy. So basically they taught us the villain is the good guy. So the monster that keeps you trapped is the nice guy, So how can the monster that abuses you and keeps you trapped be the nice guy? How is that possible? Well, they frame it like this. They show you Beauty and the Beast. And what does the Beast do? He is not nice to her at all. He traps her. He is verbally abusing her. He's not nice to her, right? And what happens? She falls in love with him. So what does that teach us? It teaches us, the bad guy, the evil guy, the one who mistreats us is the nice guy. That's the person to fall in love with, right? So they keep us under this spell, they basically, that's why it's called broadcasting, because they cast a broad spell. And basically they keep us there and it takes a long time to finally wake up and see and smell the coffee and see what's actually happening. Vienna is a crazy city for tourists. So basically, it's very, very hard for us to wake up. And when we finally do, we see all these movies with different eyes. Like, for example, I don't know if you've been growing up with the Italian movies of Adriano Celentano and Ornella Muti. And when you watch these movies nowadays, when you're grown, you're basically thinking like, what the heck was I seeing there? Because I was a little girl when I saw this, and I thought that is a role model. I thought that is basically what we should behave like, you know. But in reality, he was always abusing her. He was basically saying evil things, disgusting things to her. And what did she do? She ran after him. Every time he mistreated her, she ran after him. So what did we learn? We learned the same thing again. Abandon ourselves. And that's the thing. Hi, Alex. Brian Traveler. Hi. Hi. Coconut Kiss says, okay. So basically, Christian says, beautiful Vienna. Okay. So the thing is that basically there are many, many programs that we are under. One of the big programs and lies is that they tell you that the government is here for you, while in reality it is totally against you. It works against you. It siphons energy, it siphons money, it siphons everything from you and then gives you nothing in the end. That is why you don't have a retirement fund. That is why they let you work, and in the end they say, oh, sorry, we don't have a retirement fund for you, bye. Or you work, and when you get sick and need an operation, they go, oh, sorry, you paid the insurance, but in this case the insurance doesn't pay. So it's like wherever whatever you do, no matter how hard you work, there's nothing you get out of it. And that's going to be the same no matter where you turn. So when you start seeing behind the systems, you of course also start searching. You start searching, where can I go? Is there any way out of this system? And then you realize, okay, there is none. Because the system has been placed worldwide. It has been placed worldwide. And they are trying to close the gates now. So basically, what Agenda 2030 wants to do is basically to close the last little gates that led out of it. The thing is, you can move to another place. Let's say, for example, I live in Austria and I see that this system is in place here, this control system that makes it impossible for us to live or to earn money and stuff like that. But if I would move elsewhere, it would be the same system. It would again be governments and banks and police and justice system and big corporations, and all the same things would apply there again. So you can run around in your zoo. You can travel from country to country. You can live in different countries, but you never leave the zoo. Okay, so that becomes clear to you after a while. So then the next thing is, how do you leave the zoo then? How do you get out of it? You don't. The answer is you don't. You stay in the zoo because you are tied to this physical body. Oh, there is a little fly that flew into my drink. That's bad. How do I fish it out of here? Get out of there. So the thing is, you stay there. There is actually no way out. Agree with you though, she says. Josie, agree with you though. But what you can do is, like, there are different options available for different people. Yeah. So some people become self-employed and such things. But what I want to talk about today is those people who have zero options to get out of it. And I mean zero. Because, for example, when you have autism and ADHD, when you're neurodivergent, you not only see through these patterns, you also feel obliged to constantly point those patterns out, which makes you a huge problem for society, which is why society will always attack you and scapegoat you. And that will start in your family, which is, of course, brainwashed. That will start at school, where your schoolmates, of course, are brainwashed. That will be the case at the university, because why? Because everybody there is also brainwashed. They are all under the same hypnosis. There is no getting out of it. Yeah. So basically, is that cherry juice? Somebody asks. No, that's alcohol-free Cordino Spritz. They have a lot of these new products which don't contain any alcohol, but basically they look like it. Yeah. So then the next thing, you will find nobody out there who you can communicate with. There is nobody who you could have a friendship or a relationship with, because they're all under the hypnosis. They don't see through the system like you do, which makes you, of course, very lonely. I mean, sure, of course, on the one hand, you are very happy to be alone, because being among people, of course, means you're being tortured. You're being attacked all the time. So, of course, your comfort zone, your wonderful, nice zone, your happy place where your nervous system is regulated and absolutely wonderful, is being alone. So, you know you're among villains. You know you are among people who have no good intentions for you, no matter where you go. Do you listen to Luciano? I don't know him, and I don't listen to any music. And then the next thing is you try to find a way out of the zoo. Okay, so then you go into the religious texts. For example, Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is like a very old knowledge from India. It's Vedic origin. If you have read or heard about the old Vedic scriptures, they have the one part of it is Advaita Vedanta. Luciano Pavarotti. No, as I said, I do not listen to music, but thank you for asking. Hi, said Rahmat. So then the next thing is that you search for a way out, and you realize, okay, there is none. What do I do? Yeah. The next question is, what do I do if I cannot leave the zoo? Yeah. Then you find the Advaita Vedanta. The Advaita Vedanta is basically like about finding out who you truly are, finding out that you are not the one who experience all of this torture and harm that we experience here in the zoo on Earth, but you are the one who witnesses it. So you basically go one step behind yourself, and you see yourself, you observe yourself. Because when you ask yourself, who, for example, if I say, do not think of an elephant, then what picture comes up in your mind? Very probably it's going to be an elephant, right? So who is the one who realizes that an elephant has just popped up in your mind? It's the observer. It's the observer. So you come into the position of the observer of the self. And that is actually the only door to freedom. The only door is becoming an observer, to realize that you are not what you think you are. You are not this body. You are not this name. You are not this job. You are not this house you live in. You are not the person even who thinks. You are actually the observer who observes a person with your name thinking. That is who you truly are. And as soon as you come to that place where you realize you are not the one who is experiencing all of this, yeah, it feels as if it was you, because when you're trapped in the physical vessel vessel will of course produce certain things like oxytocin and dopamine and stuff like that. And of course that will lead to emotions, and that will lead you to the thought that it was you who has all of the emotions, right? But then when you find out you're actually the observer, you're the one who sees yourself, basically, who's looking at himself all the time and observing himself, then that's the first step to get out, the first step to, hi James, good afternoon, to get out of this illusion, to step out of the hypnosis. Yeah. And then the next step, one of the most important steps, is that you understand that you cannot be unalived. That can't happen. Only your physical body, your physical vessel can, but that is not you. That is like a vehicle. The physical vessel, you have the one whose teeth you clean every day, hopefully, is just a vessel. It's like a car. When you get into your car, you do not become the car, right? You do not identify yourself with that car. Unless maybe you have a Ferrari or so, then you think you're the car. But if you have a normal car, let's say you have a Toyota Corolla, you get into the car, you drive somewhere with the car, but you don't become the car. You wouldn't say around as long as you're here. But definitely it's not you. It's just something you have. Okay, you are much more than that. You are consciousness, and this consciousness is alive forever. It cannot die. It's absolutely impossible that this consciousness that you are dies. It's not possible. Okay, so that is the second door that leads out of the zoo. So number one door is becoming the observer. Number two door is realizing that you are consciousness and not the physical body. So these are the only two doors that actually lead out of the zoo, because there is no other way out of the zoo possible. You can travel around inside the zoo, but you can't leave it. That's that's also why there is this famous song Hotel California, where he says you can do anything you like, but you can never leave. That's because the architecture of this Hotel California, or of the zoo we are in, the matrix, which is called Earth, the architecture of it requires you to stay. It doesn't let you out. Okay, some people, they train to have an out-of-body experience, and they can induce it willingly, okay, because they have trained long enough. Or some people, they meditate so long that they can actually leave the physical vessel, stuff like that. So basically, there are ways to train yourself to leave the physical vessel while you're still here, while you're still alive. But that is, of course, kept from humanity. Not only the knowledge of how to do that, but also the possibility to do that at all. Because most people are trapped in the hamster wheel. They have to run errands, they have to go shopping, they have to go to work, they have to bring the kids to soccer. So, of course, how should they ever have the time to meditate 8 hours per day for 5 months straight until they are trained enough to do that? Most people don't have the possibility, because they're kept like cattle. Okay, they're kept in the hamster wheel. Yeah, so these were the few doors that we have to get out of this basically zoo. Yeah, there is no physical way out of it, but we can always, make contact with God, make contact with the observer, make contact with the divine, make contact with source. So that is the most important thing.